Deborah Laufer is a playwright that has been known to us for a while. Last year in January, we did a production of End Days that she had written. And during that process, I, as the director, fell in love with her as a playwright. The actors fell in love with her, and lucky enough for us, so did Gainesville. The reaction to that play was phenomenal, and people really came out en masse to see that show, and it made quite an impact in town. So when we got ready to do the January slot this year, we realized that Miss Deborah Laufer had another jewel hidden in her repertoire. So we picked it up, and here we are again. I think the beauty of this show, even though last year, I have to tell you, End Days was my favorite show that we did all last season, this show is really smart writing. It is so intergenerational. It is a witty, great story, but the themes of it speak to so many different ages. There is something in this story for everybody, and if you think about Gainesville and how diverse we are as a community, she nailed it. It's a perfect match for Gainesville. Perfect. Middle-aged couple, married 25 years, looking at an empty nest with a son who's leaving, with the big question of now what? A husband who wrote a song. He was a one-hit wonder. They've made a great living off of this one hit, but that passion of youth, hurt, love, kiss, those lyrics that set him on fire have sort of become buried inside of him. So he's going on a journey to try to figure out how to re-tap into that fire in his belly to find out why it's so hard to tap into at middle age. And then the rest of it, he goes to some pretty big moments to get back to where he needs to be.
I think the beauty of these characters, they have components of all of us. They have components of our youth, of our drive, of our creativity, of what we do together and what we do separately. And I think one of the things that happens in a marriage is we come to certain crossroads, and the crossroad is never about the other person. It's always about ourselves. And it's real easy to look outside of our own particular journey and say, what is it that you can do for me that's going to make it easy for me to get through this crossroad? And there's several times in the play that shifts between each of us. And the discovery is, of course, it's our own journey. And even though we are traveling together, it has to be that.
Very light story, a very human story with real people, but there's an element that is very allegorical, and it goes off in a completely different world. So there's elements there's a lot of different elements in here that people will enjoy, and it's a wonderful story about just about life and the choices that we make and living in the moment, and not necessarily dwelling in the past, and the power of imagination, and how just the wonder, I think, of relationships and life. So there's a lot to enjoy here.
I see my parents, I do, and they were lucky enough, they got to come to the read-through because I wanted them to get just a little taste of what it's like behind the scenes, and it was fascinating because every time a certain line was said or something like that, I would go, oh, I bet they're reacting to that right now over there, and I was right, but it also, I react to it too because I can see myself there in 25 years. I can already kind of tell the beginnings of those feelings of, I'm 26 years old, so, 25 years, 26 years from now, am I going to feel validated, like you said? Am I going to feel like I've accomplished things? Am I going to feel, what am I going to feel? I don't know, and that's, the wonderful mystery of life.
It's a love story, it's endearing, it's lovely, it talks about what makes us human, but at the same time what makes us fantastical. And I think Deborah Laufer does a great job at bringing reality and fantasy, sirens and people, relationships, and that's what I think we come to the theater for, to see not only life and reality, but also what makes us greater than life, that fantasy world that we keep looking at for inspiration and for life-changing moments and for changing others. So yes, I think that's what the story is about.